Great score there from Sean Kiley, a couple of good scores from Cian Kiley and Darren with his 4 points. So yeah, no, I don't think, I think it's a bit more Skib's good play than Ballincollig not producing that has found them in this position really in the first half.
Kevin Hurley was the man here in front of us. Lovely ball in as far as Conley again, fouled by the wing back Luke Fahey, and it's another free, and obviously if it's a free in the danger area, it's Kevin Davis that seems entrusted with it. Tomas Hegarty well cut out though by the corner back there, Colin Moore, and down come Ballincollig with JP Murphy herring down the centre. Now he's hitting 45 yards. Will he offload? Yes, he will. He's got Jorgen Murphy alongside him. Great ball in towards the danger area and in towards that young fella we were mentioning, Darren Murphy, and he's put that one over the bar, and that's about fifth point or so from him. Had a bit of afters there with the with the cornerback Dylan O'Donovan as well too there. I don't think young Darren Murphy will be too concerned. He's definitely been hugely threatening for Ballincollig this afternoon, and his score has edged them back ahead 9 points to 8 as we're coming up on half time here in Ballinascarty. Beautiful venue here this afternoon, and an impressive crowd as well too. Looking around, we have right across from us here in the pitch, and as well too a whole host of other fans here down on our left hand side as well too. You said at the start, John, about this game that the wind was going to be so important. I think you were mentioning something like a 4 or 5 point lead. Ballincollig have the lead, but it's only a point. Will it be enough?
Not if Skib play as well in the second half as Skib played in the first half. If they control the possession and control the territory, like they did in the I can only see one winner, so it'll take a lot of improvement from Ballincollig in the second half in order for them not to be beaten today. I think the number 23 that came around there, he looks suspiciously like Colin O'Connell that I played Cork Minor with, as opposed to this Jorgen Murphy that might be there. So I think we might confirm that in a minute. Colin would have played with Killavullen and in the past, but he seems to have joined Ballincollig now, so that's just one to note. But yeah, I think Skib will be much the happier. Tough half an hour into up the hill in Ballinascarty and into the breeze. So to go in only a point down, they'd have bit your hand off at the start of the game for that.
Okay, in terms of Ballincollig now for the second half, how are they going to approach it, John, in terms of, we'll say, like even just simply the kick-out strategy alone?
Well, it'll be interesting to see what Skib do. I assume they'll push up fully on their kickouts. They didn't play any sweeper in the first half, and that was into the breeze, so I assume they'll push all the way up. So it'll test. You need a variety into the wind. You're going to need a variety of kick-out options. Yes, they have the option of going long to Sean Kiley. He'll win his own ball in the air, but he's up against Donlog on it. Donlog will battle away and break ball back towards goal with that wind. So Ryan Price showed it there. He was comfortable taking the short kick out and then taking possession back, holding it until the right pass presented itself. And Ballincollig are going to have to do that. They're going to have to be patient. Paddy Kelly's out there at half time doing a bit of a warm up, just a bit of stretching. If he's anyway fit, they're going to need him. Yeah. Okay,
very good, John. Thanks for that. We'll be back to you in a few minutes' time. We're joined up here in the commentary position by another very important man, and that's JJ Walsh. And JJ is the chairman of the club here in Ballinascarty. And JJ, huge thanks to you and everyone involved for all the efforts in putting up our scaffolding and everything today. Yeah. Talk to us about the development here. It is absolutely tremendous for a rural club in West Cork.
Yeah, I suppose here in rural West Cork we have to play to our strengths, and every resource in the area has to be used. We acquired this facility, I suppose, first of all, next year we'll be celebrating our 75th anniversary. We were formed on the foot of Cork winning the All-Ireland in 1945, and we had to wait, I suppose, until 78, 79 to acquire our own facility here, and we opened in 1983. It was opened by a great Corkman, Taoiseach Jack Lynch, or former Taoiseach Jack Lynch.
And that anniversary is coming up 36 years next.
And I suppose being a man in here, we put up an alley facility here just behind us. a great wave of goodwill here locally to raise funds, and I suppose I might just mention our Camogie Christmas, really trying to get that book going. And I mean, it puts the challenge up to us next year to get a 75th anniversary booklet out there for September, October next year. And there's a lot of water to go under the bridge before then, but nevertheless, that's out there in the timetable.
Talk to me, JJ, though, about, we'll say, the challenges facing GA clubs, rural GA clubs in particular, fundraising, I suppose, never getting any easier.
I suppose even more than fundraising, what I find is, we've had a lot of success here underage over the last 10, 15 years, and that hasn't broken through. I suppose it's the people, it's the volunteers. We're very, very lucky to have the volunteers, a great underage structure, but when we get to 25, we've lost a lot of people, and, I suppose there are several bridges to cross in getting to a good junior team. We haven't won a West Cork title, a Junior 1 football or Junior 1 hurling. The last we won is 1999. We've yet to come through in this century and do something. So the pressure is on more than that front than anything else. Yeah, you're dead right about finances. Look, they've been quite helpful as well in giving whenever they were merited here. At the moment,
thing I have to mention, because I'll be shot otherwise, the club lotto. There's tickets on sale here today.
Absolutely, the club lotto. I mean, it's the lifeblood of every club now in West Cork, and at least it's a painless extraction of money. But up in the Henry Ford Tavern tonight, we'll be drawing a lotto for €20,000. I suppose it's always a moot point in the club. People obviously love to see it staying, but I'm one of these people like to see it churning over. To stay now for 6 months, and I'm almost willing that somebody will come out and win it, and hopefully the lucky numbers will come out in the next few months. Be great for me because I'm running in the local election, so they might think I had something to do with if it went tonight.
John Hayes is smiling here. I'm sure he's after buying a whole heap of tickets, and it'll be heading off west with him. JJ, thank you again so much, and for all the hospitality and everything, and all the assistance.
And it's great to have you here. And I mean to say, I'm one of these people who say that rural Ireland is alive and working. It's up and running. You can see it here today. A fine day. There's no place to compare with it. And we have it here in Ballincollig. We sat some people down there and they said it's like being in Cork Park, on a fine day in September.
They're getting some spectacle here. JJ, thank you very much. JJ Walsh, the chairman down here. That's where we're going to leave it for a few minutes' time. We're going to be back for the second half, John and the team, a few minutes' time right here on irishexaminer.com. So hopefully we'll have your company for that in a few minutes. Welcome back to Ballinascarthy. We're about to get on the way for the second half of this Cork Senior Football Championship tie between O'Donovan Rossa and Ballincollig here in Ballinascarthy. It's Ballincollig who lead 9 points to 8, but O'Donovan Rossa now having the advantage of quite a strong breeze. Beautiful conditions here in West Cork. It's a lovely day. A bit chilly though up here in our commentary box, so up at elevation. I think John Hayes alongside me is regretting the fact that he's wearing shorts this afternoon. Thankfully our camera angle though won't be panning down that low, John, to have Paul Galvin and the fashion police coming down to have a chat with you. Speaking of having a chat, it looks like two of the lads are already having a chat with referee Pow Driscoll before the ball has even been thrown in for the second half. Will we have cards issued? Yeah, 2 yellow cards to young Darren Murphy and to Dylan O'Donovan. They had a bit of a prang there just before half time after Murphy scored a point. Obviously few afters continuing on into the second half, and they're already into the referee's notebook. We're off and running. Second half of action here this afternoon. 3:45 is the time, so about 30 minutes of action. Number 23, by the way, wasn't Jorgen Murphy. We were working off a wrong programme. It's Colm O'Connell. John was right yet again, putting me back in my box, but we have it corrected now. And Ballincollig definitely, desperately needing now to try and get a solid start and not allowing the men from Skibbereen gain an early foothold in this second half and pull them way back into the game. O'Connell though bursting through to his midfielder Cian Kiley, and Kiley driving forward there. Referee though seen something, and ball being brought back for an indiscretion there. And it's still going to be a Ballincollig ball, and they're stepping back a bit there, and we'll follow the play in towards tussle there between the wing forward there, number 10, and that was Shane O'Driscoll. Was originally down to start, didn't start the first half, but he's on there now and playing it into his full forward in as far as Cian Dorgan. Dorgan scored that early point, but failed to settle in. It seems, and it's young Murphy again, and kind of a brave effort by him off the right, and that one is trailing wide. A few little chops and changes and positional moves, and we'll try and keep track of those. We saw Paddy Kelly warming up there as John said at half time, but no sign of him just yet, and what a boost he would be to Ballincollig in this second half, in this crucial Cork Senior Football Championship first round tie this afternoon. It's Ballincollig coming up there on the far side with Cian Kiley swallowing up ground there, but Tomas Hegarty making life difficult for him, and puts him off enough there that Sean Fitzgerald hoovers it up there, the full back, and surely a free there for a pull and a drag there on Colin Fitzgerald, and the man wearing number 21 for O'Donovan Rossa, using the wind to their advantage. That's a fantastic ball into Mark Collins there from Mays defence. Collins on the 45, still Collins aiming towards the 21, flicks it back, but the man inside him wasn't expecting the pass, young Elliot Conley, and opportunity lost there. One wonders, would he have been better off going on his own? Conley trying desperately to win the ball back and manages to kick it out over the sideline, but sucking a bit of momentum there from Ballincollig and from Robbie Burke as he was coming up the field, but something after happening there in the background as well. Referee going back to have a look at, is it a blood injury perhaps? We may see another blood sub being introduced there. Looked to be a bit of a hand injury. 2 medics out on the field there for Ballincollig, but what if Mark had continued on in his own there, John, instead of maybe losing possession there? Again, good opportunity lost there.
Yeah, the opportunity lost. The hand pass didn't go to hand. It was a superb pass from Rory Byrne to put him free in the first place, and he looked for the corner forward on the loop. But as I said, the pass didn't go to hand. Maybe he could have taken it on himself. Mark is already in the second half. We've seen him back. He's back in his own half back line now again. He's covered every blade of grass on the pitch, so maybe he got a bit tired when he got up the other end of the pitch. So I think one thing the Skib need to do is make sure, if looking at their pitch here, they have everyone bar one inside their own half as we speak. They can't get sucked back to pitch too much and lose their shape. They need to keep doing what they're doing, keep their forwards in the forward line in the second half. Don't get a little bit, kind of lazy just because you have the wind and try to take it easy. A great score here now from the wing forward Kevin Brown for Ballincollig. So look, that's a 2-point lead for Ballincollig now, 5 minutes into the second half. They started the second half okay, as I said. Before half time, Skib need to make sure that they don't think the job is done, and Ballincollig after winning the break here now again, and Sean Kiley on the attack.
Okay, well, as you said, that was a great score there by Kevin Brown, the wing forward for Ballincollig. Big Kiley there holding off 1-2 men, still in possession. Still big Kiley about 21 yards line, but eventually the reinforcements come from O'Donovan Rossa, and the foul is committed. Foul there on number 17, Owen Fitzgerald, who came on at wing back a little earlier for Jerry Cuhan in the starting team, and a bit of a relief there for O'Donovan Rossa, and it's back with Ryan Price, the goalkeeper, who'll do what a lot of goalkeepers in modern Gaelic football seem to be doing now, and heading off out the field, unlike the goalkeeper in Tyrone a couple of weeks ago who scored a goal in a league game. Ryan is happy to go about 30 yards and working his way back. Big free there to Rory Byrne, seemed to be pulled back, and referee Power Driscoll agreed with that, and it's O'Donovan Rossa now here in front of us, working the ball slowly down. You'd wonder again though, with the strong wind behind them, would they be better off launching it? Kevin Brown, the man who scored that point a few moments ago, working back Colin Moore. He's cornerback behind him. In as far as the man we mentioned there, Colm O'Connell, very sensible man on the ball, I must say. Does seems to do nothing too silly or anything like that. Kevin Brown, we've seen more of him in the first few minutes of this half than we saw him in the opening half. There's Brown still working there on the right hand side. I see an option inside him. He'll dink it in as far as the other corner forward there, and that's Robert Noonan. Back as far as Peter O'Neill, started instead of Pa Kelly, works it right across the field to Colin Moore. Dangerous strategy when you've got a bit of a breeze to factor in as well there, and maybe trying to be over elaborate, and watching some of the Ballincollig mentors here in front of me, their heads in their hands, and they're wondering maybe let's try not to overcomplicate it. And after the end result of all of that is that Skibbereen are racing down through the middle of the field there with Rory Byrne, the big midfielder. Big huge stride by Rory Byrne, plays it off to Elliot Connolly now 21 yards out, nice ball inside him into the corner forward. Davis, great save by the goalkeeper, wonderful save by Kieran Noonan to deny young Kevin Davis, and that looked to be curtains had gone in, because that would have been a huge boost to O'Donovan Rossa, but huge credit to Kieran Noonan, got down very smartly. Maybe the corner forward was maybe a bit nonchalant in his finish, but still credit to the goalkeeper. And we're back to far end with Cian Dorgan, the full forward, in as far as the midfielder, in as far as Cian Kiley down to the floor. No free committed, says the match official, but Ballincollig recycling it out as far as the corner forward Robert Noonan, back with the man wearing number 12, and that's Killian Coleman, trying to get their hands on it. It looks to be Murphy, the other corner forward, half locked down, and as far as Kiley into Murphy, shot trickles, and Ryan Price should I say, gets his hand on that. Looked to be kind of a bit of a daisy cutter along the ground there from Darren Murphy.
Yeah, great action there, both ends. Two good saves from the keepers down at the other end. Great move from Skibbereen. A run from Rory Byrne, slipped it to Elliot Connolly, who burned his two men inside and popped it off. Good pass to Kevin Davies, and a great save from Ryan Noonan. Up the other end then, Ballincollig work it through, and it looked to be a little bit of a scuffed shot that might go through the legs of Ryan Price, but he got enough on it to deflect it out for a 45. Cian is going to take the 45 into the wind. He does, it's off kick, but he does have the ability to get there. So decent start to the second half for Ballincollig. If they can put this over, they'll be a little bit happier than they were at half time.
Thrilling start to the second half. Bit of concern though for one of the O'Donovan Rossa players down there. We're not quite sure who it is, but it looks like it might be the cornerback Dylan. No, it isn't. It's the man wearing number 21, and that is Colm Fitzgerald. getting a bit of treatment there, but as John said, it was kind of a scuffed effort in the end from Darren Murphy. Didn't really get full connection on it. It was a bit of a daisy cutter, but as John said, Ryan did very well to kind of readjust his body and get a touch in it to knock it out for the 45, and that's what we're waiting for now, the 45 here from Cian Dorgan. But as we said, there is that breeze that when it blows, it's blowing quite hard, and Dorgan though is kind of looking like a man that's fancying his chances, gives it plenty of welly. That's a great effort, had the distance but trailed wide, but certainly full connection by the full forward Cian Dorgan. His father Tom, of course, in charge of the Ballincollig team this afternoon. I think it's something like his third time at the helm, heavily involved with the club for years. Back though with Donlogue Hognet, works it across the field to Paddy Crowley. Crowley trying to find Connolly there, but the defender did very well there, number 7 Luke Fahey, and I think in the end, we didn't catch it there. It looked like there was a bit of a late tackle in on top of young Connolly just as the ball went out there, and it looks like the match officials are going to have to go in and I'd say get some words of advice from a linesman. Touch of an Arsene Wenger from me up here. I didn't see the incident in question, but I do know that young Connolly is now down on the ground, Elliot Connolly, after that. So we'll just have to see what the referee and the match officials judge to have happened there. But it looks like young Connolly is back on his I won't go to say so far as that he's back on his feet. He's on his knees anyway. He's no longer prostrate on the ground. Referee has called, it looks like it's Luke Fahey, I think the man wearing number 7 aside, and it's a straight red card for him. John, I didn't see the incident. I saw the ball going out, looked to be just a line ball, and then young Connolly ended up on the ground. You're going to have a bit of review there of the video footage. It looked to be...
Yeah, I was the same as yourself. I was after turning it away, but we have the replay of it here, and it just showed after the ball went out, Luke Fahey came in, and he basically hit Elliot Connolly a bit of a shoulder into the back and into the wire fence, and I suppose they deemed it a dangerous play. You know, Ballincollig had started well the second half well. Winning that ball was important, and to lose a man now with the wind, they're gonna be under pressure now big time. I think if Paddy Kelly is anyway fit, we're going to see him very soon.
Okay, well, I can see the Ballincollig bench here in front of us, and they're hanging their heads after that one. Huge disappointment by them, and Luke Fahey on the long walk out. So this is going to be a real gut check, and while all of that was happening, another incident developing, getting a bit spicy here. One of the O'Donovan Rossa players down on the ground. Again, we were following it down here, following the ball, and it just happened to be off the ball. We're going to check back on the video footage again, but for the second time in as many minutes, an O'Donovan Rossa player is on the ground, and on this occasion it's a yellow card, and it's Killian Coleman, it looks to be the wing forward, who's picking it up. Ballincollig leading by 10 points to 8, but leading on the scoreboard, but it looks like losing their head somewhat out there, John.
Yeah, definitely, and like I said, they had started the second half pretty well, and they were in possession there of the ball, and a little bit of indiscipline has cost them again. Turnover, it's a free. If Skibbereen get a score out of this, the momentum starts to swing back Skibbereen's way, and Ballincollig will be regretting those flashes of temper, I suppose.
Well put there. It looks like it was young Connolly again who was the player on the receiving end of the treatment, but Ballincollig now, this is going to be a real gut check for them, as Tomás Hegarty's on the ball there, playing it back as far as 25, and that's Owen O'Connell, high ball in and an aimless ball, and that's gone wide. So Ballincollig now have a situation, they're leading this Cork Senior Football Championship first round tie, 10 points to 8. We're looking at the clock, we've about 10-15 minutes gone in the second half here in Ballinascarthy, but for the leaders, they've down a man, and they're facing into a strong breeze against a dogged West Cork side who are desperate to get something out of this. That was a poor kick out straight into Tomas Hegarty, straight into his chest, passes it out to the corner forward, young Davis, and that one has gone wide. Back-to-back wides there. We were talking about the excitement of the first half in terms of the football. Plenty of excitement, but football quality lacking, John.
Yeah, incident-packed start to the second half, but definitely the standard has dropped a little bit since the first half. It was a very good first half of football. Skib probably put an awful lot of effort into that first half and into the wind, and their level looks to have dropped just a little bit. Couple of chances to put points on the board there that they've missed. It looks like Ballincollig are ready and Paddy Kelly now to go in. So obviously, if Paddy is even half fit, he's going to be a big boost to Ballincollig, especially in this kind of position where they'll want to retain possession, and that's what Paddy's excellent at.
And that is exactly it, especially when we're down to 14 men and facing into the wind. But again, Skibbereen will be less than impressed with the last couple of minutes there. Two glorious chances for score, especially that last one there, Kieran Noonan, who produced that fantastic save on Kevin Davis a little later, but a very poor kick out for him, intercepted by and for the second time intercepted. This time Davis intercepted Tomas Hegarty, getting the other one. Here comes Elliot Connolly again, swallowed up by 1, 2, 3 Ballincollig men. Gets it back as far as Davis. Davis flicks it back. There's all sorts of 6s and 7s trying to get it out, but Ballincollig though managing to get it out with the full back there, Liam Jennings. Jennings as far as the man wearing number 17, that is Peter O'Neill, and O'Neill fouling the ball, and it's back to O'Donovan Rossa on this occasion, and it looks like it's Donlow Cognate who's going to stand over it. No, he's going to pass it off to Davis, who's going to be pretty confident, I'm sure, of putting this one over the red spot with the strong wind behind him. It means though we're still waiting for Paddy Kelly to be introduced, and that'll be some boost psychologically alone for Ballincollig in this second half of this Cork Senior Football Championship game, brought to you in association with the Cork County Board here on irishexaminer.com. And the radar gone yet again for Skibbereen. Couldn't do anything wrong in the first half. Is it because they're in a situation where they have the advantage of the win, they have the numerical advantage, the finishing line is in sight? Winning a county championship game has been a big issue for O'Donovan Ross in the last 4 or 5 years, and are they already panicking?
I don't think it's panic stations just yet, but it's a poor start to the second half from them. That's 3 bad wides that they've had there in the last 5 minutes. Probably they needed that one to get a score on the board, and you would have expected Kevin to put it over. Ballincollig are trying to turn this into a little bit of a scrap in the second half now because they're a man down. It'll suit them for it to kind of descend into lower quality second half, shall we say. So Skib need to kind of get their heads back on it, be a little bit patient, move the ball with patience like they did in the first half, wait for the opportunities to present itself for their dangerous forwards inside. Donlow is bringing it forward here, kind of nice and patient. They've got numbers over here. They really could use a score out of this, and then if they get a couple of scores they should kick on, but they're making a bit of hard work out of it.
Okay, well, one man that's been making it happen so far is Mark Collins. Will he be able to turn a bit of magic here, either himself or set someone else up? Davis working it back to Tomas Hegarty, right across the field again. Patient play. There's all bar 2 of the Ballincollig team are inside their own 45-yard line. It's Owen Fitzgerald out there wearing number 17, maintaining possession but going nowhere because there's just a wall of green and white in front of him, trying to find an opening out of with the wing back there, Paddy Crowley, and Crowley bought the ground. Maybe that's what they were waiting for, waiting to buy the free, to concede the free. And Ballincollig, again, when you're trying to defend minus a man, that's always going to be the danger, and they worked that overlap there to perfection. And surely you would expect young Kevin Davis straight in front of the post to put this one over the bar. 10 points to Ballincollig, 8 points to Skibbereen. We're looking at about 20 minutes or so into the second half of this Cork Senior Football Championship first round tie. As John said, plenty of talking points, maybe not the same level of skill as we saw in the first half, but plenty of excitement and plenty of roars and shouts and incidents in the last 10-15 minutes or so. So Kevin Davis about 25 yards right in the centre of the exclusion zone here, and you'd be putting your €20,000 club lotto ticket on this one, going straight between the posts. And don't forget, that's at the Henry Ford Tavern later tonight here in Ballincollig. If you're around these parts on the bank holiday, wouldn't that be a nice present? 20,000 in the club lotto, and nice present there from Kevin Davis straight between the posts, and that leaves just 1 point between the sides in this Cork Senior Football Championship tie. Now the big question is, will that score act as a motivator, an instigator of something for O'Donovan Rossa? Will it get the momentum going again that had stalled since we started this third quarter, or will it be something that will get Ballincollig back into gear? Only time will tell. About 10-15 minutes remaining in this Cork Senior Football Championship game. Plenty of excitement here, and a beautiful day at a beautiful venue in West Cork. Here's number 9 Rory Byrne, big, tall, rangy, powerful player. Back to his full back there, Sean Fitzgerald. Overlap again to Shane O'Driscoll. Again, patient build up because there are so few options inside because of the wall of players that's meeting them inside. 25 Owen O'Connell down there, but Ballincollig getting the ball over. Mark Collins' fingers almost touching that one, but getting away from him. And here come the men from Ballincollig again with JP Murphy, the man that's been 2 years in New York working in finance, but back now here in Ballinascarty, helping his team defend a 1 point lead in this Cork Senior Football Championship game. Colm O'Connell came on there in first half, has impressed hugely since he came on. Back in front of us here again is number 10 Kevin Brown, scored a fine point off his right there early in the second half. And back with the full back there, Liam Jennings out as far as it looks like it's Kiley midfield, and they're still gaining the possession. The men from Skibbereen have sucked bodies back now in the same way, gone ultra defensive to try and maintain just that 1 point gap between the seed. And it's Kevin Brown here, very patient play to Cian Dorgan in front of us. Dorgan scored that opening point of today's game. So Connell again running into a wall of red, and this is now turning into who will blink first in an effort to see who will make the mistake and who will capitalise it. Liam Jennings, the teacher, great ball by him, and as far as his corner forward, Darren Murphy, dangerous man in the first half. Footing leaves him down though on this occasion. Back on, and it's back with Ballincollig, back with JP Murphy looking right across the field, ball kind of hanging a bit in the wind, but finds its intended target, Kevin Brown, and Brown is going to play it right in to the corner, and well defended there by Skibbereen, and they'll work it out. But the Ballincollig man inside there is after taking a blow to the ribs. I don't think there was anything malicious or anything like that. I think it was just more a case of the contact with the ball and the contact with the ground on that occasion. I'd say more a case of being badly winded than anything else. But Skibbereen have the ball, and it's the wing back there, Paddy Crowley, who's holding on to it as if his very life depended on it. 10 points to Ballincollig, 9 points to the men from O'Donovan Rossa in Skibbereen. And back Paddy goes to his goalkeeper Ryan Price. They play a little 1-2 between them. It'll just show you the lack of options that are open up the field. But Mark Collins is the man that's offering, and lovely pair of hands by him as well too. So soft and knows exactly what to do. And he's Sean Fitzgerald perfectly positioned alongside him. Emmett Conley in there, clean pair of heels by Conley. Conley racing through and goals inside the 14, fisted pass, and he's put that right over the bar. That was a fantastic score. But that man again, Mark Collins, started that all right in front of us.
Yeah, like Mark has worked his socks off, probably been a little bit quieter in the second half, but I think that's been the nature of the game. The second half has been very fractured and stop-start, so neither side has kind of got into any rhythm. That's an important score for Skib, another very good score from Elliot Connolly to bring them level with probably 7 or 8 minutes to go. I'd say we'll have a good bit of injury time because it has been so fractured and stop-start. Still no sign of Paddy Kelly. We thought he was warming up there and ready to go. He's just come into the game there now. So I suppose with 10 minutes to go, his kind of experience and his ability on the ball is going to be invaluable to Ballincollig, and straight away collects a mark.
Yeah, and Kevin Brown had the man to make way, and I must say Paddy's racing through already in the first few minutes, and it's JP Murphy racing through as well. Great pair of hands there, but well cut out there. It looks like it. Tomás Hegarty, the corner forward, all the way back helping his defence. Donald O'Connor now racing down the field. As John said, the game very fractured, but starting to open up now as we come down the final stretch with about 5 minutes to go. 10 points apiece. Mark Collins is on the man. Still Mark Collins. Nice ball into Davis. Davis takes it round one. Half block though, well cleared up, and it's back with Colm O'Connell there, who's going to clear it out as far as number 18, and that's Robbie Burke. Pa Kelly, as we said, what a boost he would have been had he been started this afternoon, but unfortunately I think it was an Achilles tendon injury that was the big reason for him not starting here this afternoon. Liam Jennings, teacher, also a selector I'm told with the UCC Freshers football team. All pretty capable operators here. Cian Dorgan as well, star Cork under 21 of 2 or 3 years ago. Peter O'Neill back with JP Murphy, and again it's a bit like that chess stalemate that we saw a little earlier. It's who's going to hold on to possession longer, who's going to lose it, and on this occasion it's Tomás Hegarty who's managed to dispossess Paddy Kelly, but great play by Robbie Burke there to regain possession. Kiley's effort though on this occasion, Sean Kiley, a bit of a hit and hope into the breeze. While all of that was happening, it looks like we've one of the Ballincollig lads, I'm not sure, is it the fullback Liam Jennings, who's down there. It looks might have twisted his knee or his ankle in a bit of a collision there, but Kiley's effort was more hit in hope than in expectation on that occasion, and you wonder will that prove costly. So about 5-6 minutes remaining or so in this Cork Senior Football Championship first round tie being brought to you on irishexaminer.com in association with the Cork County Board. And well, you're certainly enjoying some spectacle here in the sunshine in Ballinascarthy this afternoon. Has had lots of talking points, lots of thrills, a few spills, one sending off, no goals, couple of good saves, and leaving us at 10 point apiece. Ryan Price, the goalkeeper for O'Donovan Rossa, will he go as long using the wind? Big powerful effort by him. Oh, and that was a great play by Tomás Hegarty, the corner forward, back as far as his wing back there to Paddy Crowley, and it's Hegarty again who's racing through 25 yards out on to a dinker of a kick from the man wearing number 25, and that one, it looked like it was going to creep over the bar, but it has trailed just right and wide. Owen O'Connell's effort was the one, but great work by Hegarty to be part of the breaking ball at midfield and then racing clear, laying off the pass to Owen O'Connell, and just trailing wide. As John said, we're keeping an eye on the clock. I'd say about 3-4 minutes of regulation time left, 4 minutes of regulation time left, but there'll be a few stops and starts that have to be accounted for when the referee is totting up the score. Peter O'Neill is the man wearing number 17, the man that stepped into the fray for Pa Kelly. Robert Noonan is the man on the ball now, the corner forward, goalkeeper's brother Kieran. Good effort from Robert right across the face of the goal, but didn't judge the wind correctly, and it looks like that one is a huge let off, and a big quick kick out there now from Ryan Price. Finds Mark Collins all in his own in splendid isolation. He's gone past midfield, he's gone past the 45-yard line. Will he keep going or will he opt for a man outside him? He'll go for Connolly outside him. Connolly takes a heavy blow, still Connolly working his way in along the end line, punched right across the front of the goal. Referee though had said the ball had gone out, ball had gone wide. Oh, the drama, the excitement. About 3 minutes or so left here in regulation time. We don't know what way this one is going to ebb or sway, do we, John?
No. Look, Skiv look like they're kind of they'll be very disappointed if they don't come out the winning side of this in normal time, because you know it'll be one they'd leave behind. That was another great chance to get a score. You know, a great break from great kick out actually from Ryan Price, and Mark Collins gone through. Pass wasn't great, and then they ran it out of play. Break here, won by Skibbereen. If Skib get ahead, you can see it being very difficult for Ballincollig to pull anything back.
Two powerful men there, Colm O'Connell and Mark Collins, going in for that one. Ends up with Skibbereen and they're going to have to judge this one now very quickly. Are they going to play it directly in, or are they going to just try and creak open a door? And the right man to find any opening and any gap is this man, number 11, Mark Collins, being a real live wire all afternoon. Out as far as young Conley and Elliot Conley there. Back to his full-back, big long effort from the number 3 from the full-back, bit of a wild effort, and it was wild, trailed about 10-12 yards wide, and no wonder the Ballincollig mentors and supporters in front of us were cheering that effort there from Sean Fitzgerald. A real Gary Owen of an effort. You'd say one thing if you were in the last play of a game, but with a couple of minutes left to go, it seemed to be a rather silly option by him. Kieran Noonan is the Ballincollig goalkeeper. 2 minutes they're being told down below us, but as I said, we probably will have a few stops and start with the referee. Great pair of hands there by Peter O'Neill. Back as far as Pa Kelly. Kelly takes his time, looks around for the option, and that's provided by Colm O'Connell, racing through the middle. 3 players bounce off him. Back as far as Pa Kelly. Out as far as Jennings, the fullback, looks to be carrying the leg a small bit. Had that knock a few minutes ago on the 45-yard line. Working it back. Dorgan right across the field in front of us here again to Peter O'Neill. Big strong man is this Peter O'Neill. Great ball in by him in towards the corner forward, the man wearing number 15, Darren Murphy, real star in the first half. Doesn't like the angle, so opts to put it back as far as Kiley. Back to the other corner forward, Robert Noonan, working right across the field there. Back to Murphy. They've overcooked the passing there, and it's Donlogue Hognet who's been dragged back as he was trying to make a big burst out of defence, and referee has added an extra 10, 15, 20 yards to the free. Collins opting to go right across towards the centre back there to Daniel Hazel. Few options inside for him. He's got a man on the left, but he's forced to go all the way back, and it's been cut out by Pa Kelly, and Kelly gets a connection on it but sends it out over the sideline, so it's going to be a skibbereen ball. And you can see this is just errors and mistakes and pressure and tension and everything that you would expect in top flight senior football championship. Mark Collins here in front of us, issuing the instructions, issuing the directions where he wants somebody, and what he wants is Ryan Price to come out beyond his 45-yard line. They're going to try and push as many forward as possible. 10 points apiece. Still Mark Collins, lovely bit of skill by him. Pumps it in. It's out with the midfielder there, Rory Byrne. Byrne interplay there. They're working it right across here towards number 7, Paddy Crowley. I don't think anyone is going to attempt to be the hero from 45 yards, even with that bit of a wind. They're going to try and work it in as close as they can. Out as far as Paddy Crowley again there. Crowley in towards the corner forward. Nice bit of interplay here. Surely that's a free. That's a push in the back. The Ballincollig lads not happy with that call, but I don't think that they can have too many arguments there. But you have to say that the lads from Skibbereen were just playing patiently, waiting for the opening. Looked like it was Donald O'Connell who was fouled in the end, and surely this could be the decisive score.
Yeah, look, if they clip this over and go a point ahead, they'll be favourites to see it out. Donald's got to kick it himself after a pretty tough run himself. It's a very kickable free. You'd back him to kick it nine times out of 10. It's just, he might be a bit tired after making the burst and at the end of a long game. But it's an important kick. And now words to the referee mean it's in front of the posts, so he'll tap this over. And Ballincollig will have a couple of minutes of injury time to try and get up the pitch and get an equaliser. Skib have made a bit of heavy weather this in the second half, but this will put them in front, and they should see it out from there.
Okay. And I think the cheer from the Skibbereen contingent on the far side of the pitch tells you exactly where that's after ending up, with a bit of back chat making his life a bit easier as well too. And now the question is, can Ballincollig regain possession, and can they manage to work their way up the field, and can they manage to produce an equaliser? 11 points to 10, more indiscipline it seemed there. The referee Dorgan and the referee Cian Dorgan and the match referee Pa O'Driscoll having words there. He thought that the ball should be brought forward. Referee said no, back you go. but Ballincollig still have possession with their corner back in as far as big man there, Sean Kiley now trying to punch it in, loses right through the hands there, right through the hands of the corner forward Robert Noonan, and it's Skibbereen who have the ball there with the man wearing number 17, that's Owen Fitzgerald, and Skibbereen, you think now, will be more composed. They have that wind, they have the extra man as well too, and it's out with Donlogue hogging it. Won't be doing anything too quickly, too foolishly. Back to his corner forward, Tomas Hegarty, long way from his usual posting, and they're played it, lovely overlapping as far as Paddy Crowley manages to evade the big hit. Hegarty was running inside him looking for the 1-2, touches the ball right across it looked like the ball was just coming into the hands of Daniel Hazel, who was running through, but just before that there was a foul committed. But if Hazel had got the ball, all he had was the goalkeeper to beat, and I'm sure the lads from Skibbereen quite happy. They'll take the free and they'll eat up another few seconds on the clock.
True. To be fair to the referee, he played an initial advantage, and then when Ballincollig looked like they'd made an interception, he blew it, but it actually did break. And Daniel Hazel would have been clean through if he gathered possession, would have a possible goal chance, or maybe just tap it over the bar. Look, if Donlogue does kick this free, it's a 2-point lead, as I said, with probably a couple of minutes of injury time to go. Ballincollig are going to start thinking they need a goal. It should put Skib into a very strong position, and it's over.
Powerful kick there from Donlogue, and even before that ball left his foot, I can see on the far side some Ballincollig fans already leaving the ground here in Ballinascarty. As far as they're concerned, this championship game is over, but as we've seen in Gaelic football, there could be still a sting in this tail in this Cork Senior Football Championship first round clash here in beautiful Ballinascarty. We're deep into injury time, 2 points between the sides, and it's O'Donovan Rossa who are leading, and it's O'Donovan Rossa who have the ball with Rory Byrne, the midfielder. He is the farthest man forward. He's waiting on the reinforcements. One of those is number 24, and that man there is Elliot Conley, been part and parcel of so much so good for Skibbereen today. And with that comes the final whistle. Celebration, joy, elation, relief, I suppose the component words for the men from Skibbereen. It's been a long time since they've won a senior football championship game. Dismay, distraught, disappointment for Ballincollig. Everything that could go wrong did go wrong. Losing Pa Kelly before the throw-in, having then a man sent off early in the second half, and even here in front of us here, some of the Ballincollig players expressing their annoyance and venting their frustrations with referee Pa Driscoll, who we must feel had a very impressive game here this afternoon. How do we put sense in all of that? How do we put sense in all of that, John?
Yeah, look, two very contrasting halves of football. In fairness, the first half, open football, great score sides, and we were hoping for more of the same in the second half. The second half was a lot more scrappy and fractured, and Skib will probably be disappointed that they dropped their levels, but it's a very important win for Skib. With the proposal to reduce the number of teams next year, Skib, because of their results in the last couple of years, are in a vulnerable position, so they're one of the teams who know they have to get to the quarterfinals this year in order to be in the top 12 next year for the senior championship. Ballincollig are probably similar to ourselves. We had a number of battles with Ballincollig the last few years, obviously the two county finals in 14 and 16. They'll regroup and they'll be disappointed, but they were missing a few players, had a few injuries and that kind of thing. They're in a position now where they'll be looking at the draw kind of no more than ourselves, with a bit of anxiety. But in a position, I think the county board have indicated there will be the second round of championship will be August at the earliest, so teams can make their plans, take their time now to recover from this, see what the draw brings them for the second round. If they can get a favourable draw, like ourselves, if they can get a favourable draw in the second round and get a win in the back door of the championship, then you'll come back into the championship proper at the end of the season, and it could benefit them in the long run as well. But for Skib, you can see what it meant to get that win today. it was vital for them to avoid the potential of being knocked out early, because they would be in trouble for the senior top grade of senior next year.
You mentioned it in the commentary, John. Great merger of some of the older heads like Mark Collins, for example, that we saw there, but then some of that under 21 talent that's coming through. Young Elliot Connolly, for example, and young Kevin Davis on the frees.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought Elliot Connolly was excellent. I thought he was probably their top performer, most consistent performer throughout the hour, even in the second half. Maybe when I felt they lost their shape, in the first half, Thomas Hagerty and Mark Collins were a very effective half forward line for them, whereas in the second half Mark was still very busy and on the ball. Thomas probably spent more time in his own defence than he was up front. Maybe it was a decision just to kind of.
But would you find, we'll say from your own playing days, that sometimes when a team loses a player, when you're playing against a team having the numerical advantage, it kind of throws your own system out?
Yeah, you can see it, all right. You can see it from time to time when a team goes down and the team with the extra man aren't sure what to do with it. Maybe the players just drop by 5 or 10% and the other team raise their game. So sometimes you can see it benefiting the team who've lost the man more than the opposition. But in the end here, I think Skib, while they made hard work of it, they were patient towards the end, and like Dunlogue there did a passing move that went across the pitch a couple of times, and he just put a bit of pace into it, broke through the line, won a free, kicked those 2 frees at the end to win the game for him. And look, it's an important win for Skib. They'll go forward to the third round now, and they'll be targeting that game big time, because like I said, they're a team that needs to get to the quarterfinals this year.
Okay. What about yourself? How are you getting on at the moment?
Yeah, grand. Look, we obviously had a disappointing result against Island Rovers as well. I was kind of similar to Paddy Kelly. I just had a slight groin injury in the week of the championship match, so I wasn't fit enough to start. Came on in the second half, and we just had too much to do in order to pull out the result. Island Rovers a better team on the day, deserved the win. For us, same as Ballincollig, see what happens in the draw. We know at least the county board have kind of given the indication that you won't be playing till August. I know it's not ideal, but it gives the certainty to players. Sometimes you'll be getting fixtures for the middle of June, and then Cork win or lose, and it gets put back a few weeks, gets put back another few weeks, and you don't play till August anyway. So at least this way, fellas can make plans for the summer. We can keep training. And
how hard is it though to keep ticking over then in the summer months?
It's not too bad now. I think at least I'd like to see it the league move kind of more towards a summer league, rather than having 5 or 6 games in February and March. To be fair, I think we've about 4 league games to fill. They'll be played between now and July. But if you had a bulk of more league matches in probably say starting in April, May, June, then you'd be kind of tipping away and playing games, and then you'd know what the serious business of championship when the county players return would be in August, September. So it's moving in the right direction, I think, in terms of some of the initiatives from the county board, and they've consulted with the clubs and that kind of thing. So it's good to see something happening, and it'll probably happen bit by bit. I might be long retired by the time they get it right. But for ourselves with Ross, like I said, we're just going to be training away twice a week, and then fellas will be expected to do their own thing, to their own little bit extra on whatever they need to do, and then kind of towards July time you'll be starting to say, look, the championship could be within the next few weeks. Let's pick it up again. Okay,
John, thank you very much for your assistance here today in Ballincollig. Thanks also to Jack and Raf, who were doing all our technical work here, and thanks also to Ballincollig GA Club. They've erected scaffolding and a commentary box and everything here for us this afternoon. Rural GA at its best. That's where we're going to have to leave today's commentary. Victory for the men from Skibbereen, Donovan Rossa in this Cork Senior Football Championship tie. Disappointment and what ifs for Ballincollig. That's where we leave it. Thank you for joining us, and hopefully we'll be back again very shortly with more action from the Cork Champ.